Hi all, welcome back to more of the other side of the hill. So, this is my part 35. Another good few days went by, but we're back. So, and right, a couple of things to talk about. That last combat Soviet offensive, when I pondered on what to do with the army that was left in there when we retreated back into Belarus, after being forced to advance into Moscow because of von Bock, which was somebody else had queried if they'd missed something about me moving into Moscow, but I'm pretty sure I explained it all. I said that in the comment back to him. I'm pretty sure I explained what went wrong. I do think the person's maybe not played the game before. However, if you'd watched the video, I mean, okay, I guess my videos can be hard work, but if you're wanting to know how things work, then you need to actually watch the bits, don't you? So anyway, because of on board, we've done that. Anyway, so and I was in a bit of a rush the last part that I done. So that's my excuse, I suppose. Anyway, comment from Martin, 45-minute mark from part 34. You can retreat the army to the adjacent area as long as you don't overstack. And then he highlights the rule that says move all armies in the area to an adjacent area or areas controlled by the Axis or with a disputed marker without exceeding the stacking limits on those areas. 6.7.2. And I mean, I think I glanced at retreat because that's what we were doing. Now, where is the bit that says that then, that Martin's highlighted? Yeah, it's in the steps here. Maybe I can get up to the camera. So this is 6.7.2 retreat on page 29. And then I think I read through this bit and then I just sort of didn't have the time, but it looks like it's this one here. So if the Axis control disc was in the one sector, and that's where it was in Orel here, which is the one sector, remove it from the map. Replace the disputed mark in the alignment box with an alignment mark of the faction indicated by the control disc of the area. We did that. It was disputed and now it's back to Soviet occupied. Then the head of operations must follow these steps to withdraw any armies in the area. So it clearly tells you here in the rules. So I've been silly and hasty and whatever. But fortunately we can easily fix this and it's good for us. So it says move all the armies in the area to an adjacent area or areas controlled by the Axis or with a disputed marker without exceeding the stacking limits in those areas. That's the bit that Martin highlighted. Remove the marker of the head of army group from the area. It may be placed in an area if allowed by the rules in 4.3. If no area is available, put it in the general markers of box on his player's board and move his card to available generals. Well, we didn't have an AG head because there was only one army. Eliminate any armies that could not be withdrawn from the area because there was no available adjacent area or their withdrawal would violate stacking limits. I think, was that not what happened down in Libya when we had nowhere to go? And I think we had to eliminate the army. Pretty sure we'd done that properly. I don't recall anything getting mentioned about that. But this was okay because this army can retreat from here. It's adjacent to this area, so it can retreat in there. And there's only 3 armies in there, so we're going to take that. And if you recall, we did have 2 reduced armies because I remember looking at it and saying, right, we do have 2, so if this one is back in here, I was able to use the other one to do a reduction wherever it was, the other combat. So this is coming back in here, so that's good. That's good for us. I mean, it sort of makes sense, I suppose, but I just, like I say, I've read through this rulebook 3 times, completely through it, and I still need to read the rules. I still need to read them to keep on top of things. If further retreats must be applied after following the previous steps, they're applied in an adjacent area controlled by the Axis faction. If more than one area is eligible, select the one closest to a Festung sector. More than one area is still eligible, choose one randomly. And that tells you about if it's in a Festung sector, but we'll look at that when, well, the time will come, I suppose. But So yeah, and if we had to do more retreats here, we would have had to continue retreating into there, and then the Soviet faction would get this in here. This would be disputed. We would lose that resource as well. So, bad things. So excellent. That's good. So Carlos also chimed in after this and said this is correct. Of course, the answer was in 6.72, only a bit further down. Yeah, that was my bad, Carlos. Absolutely my fault for not noticing that. It is quite clear, that one, in the rules for sure. Right, and he carries on here, and I was going to leave a comment in the header about this. So I think I commented after about this. Yeah, I said I was going to add something in the header regarding it, but felt it was better to talk about it in the next part. I'll read his comment. It says, I have a comment on undefended areas which may be useful in the future. An area is undefended only if it has no armies at the beginning of combat. And this is what I realised when I was watching back on the video. And we'll get to what the issue was there. That's why the rule is placed before the procedure of combat resolution. If there is at least one Axis army in an area before you draw a combat card, then the area is not undefended. Just resolve the combat as usual and apply the dice results, even if that army is eliminated during combat or due to attrition or events. Yeah, and what happened there was, right, I don't think it was this card, but I think this might have been the same result. We had the Soviets attacking us, and we got a reduction and 3 dice, and I only had one army in here. So reduction in 3 dice, but I've got one army in there for the start, and I realised that afterwards, and that's what Carlos is highlighting, that area is not undefended. No matter, once the special effect takes place and we have to eliminate the army, I was thinking that then I had to take the 3 retreats because we were undefended in that area. But no, it is defended from the start, before, as long as you've got an army there when I draw that card. So my worry about, I think I used the general, didn't I, to cancel that, and I got lucky and got it, which wouldn't have mattered. We would have still been able to roll the 3 dice and done the combat. So that's what he's highlighting there, which I did sort of realise afterwards. But anyway. He carries on, that was a very tense combat in Moscow, but I think you acquitted yourself well there. I love when the game allows for these epic moments. You must know I was rooting for you, he says. Well, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, it's quite exciting when you get moments like that. Although, the excitement for me was when I was rolling the dice to stop the reduction, the special effect, which I got away with, which, well, I'm not saying it wouldn't have mattered, because we would have then still had to eliminate the army. So, I mean, it did prevent the elimination of the army, didn't it? So, it was still good, but my fear was that because of that, at the time, because I wasn't thinking about it properly, I would have had to do the 3 retreats and not even roll any dice, but that would have been wrong. So, right, and then me chiming on about Von Bock. So, hang on a sec. So he says, you have a point about Von Bock's rule being relevant to combat. I will let you know how my head works, though, and why it is a special rule. In my mind, combat abilities are advantageous to combat, disadvantages such as Von Bock's limitations, such as Kesselring's nasty things. Kesselring can't be used for other things, can't he? That's the thing. But once he goes Nobi Sudbox, I think that's true. Yeah, but anyway, such as and then you've got limitations such as Kesselring's, right? And then nasty things such as misfortunes and increases in unrest, which I've seen some of them. And the effects of dismissals go all into the mixed bag of the special box. It is true that this may result in people failing to see some of those rules, and that's why you have a point. But for me, it is a question of tidiness, which by now I think you've realised is something I value arguably too much. So yeah, I get his point. It's in the right place, but it's just the one general, I think. I mean, like he says, there's some that can affect unrest. These are all when they get dismissed, though. I mean, yeah, you could miss that when he's getting dismissed, and then but it's just he's the one that I just wish highlighted in a different way. I think he's the only one that you could miss that's really quite a game changing moment, you know. But anyway, that's what it is. Hopefully, I won't miss that again. I commented back to that. I understand it's just only Von Box special that I feel could easily be missed and cause a mistake in the game that would have a big impact. But then maybe that's just me. So yeah, I think that was all the comments that we had. Yeah, that was a good thing. We got that army back. Damn. Hang on. Right, I'm actually just realising that probably was the last combat card because we've not resolved these other 3 combats, have we? So that's where we're at, basically. Yeah, we're just about to carry out the rest of these combats. Okay, well let's do that then. I'm only going to get a quick part on here anyway, so. So just try to get back on top of things here. Is there one more important than the other? Well, the important one is Belarus. Yeah, we must have resolved the one in the Baltic States. Yeah, that's right. We needed to hold that, and we need to hold Belarus as well, don't we? Because they're the 2 that we've taken this turn for a succeed with Barbarossa. So yeah, the fact that last card was a reduction in 3 dice seems like it's a good idea to go for this one. We might get a bit luckier. So we're going to go for Belarus. Again, no OB in charge. Of course it's Von Bock, isn't it? Well, we need to draw a combat card first because it might turn out to be not a combat. So, Combat Belarus, 1942, Soviet faction on the attack. Is that focusing alright? I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. It's my glasses. No, I've got the same again. So a reduction in 3. A reduction in 3 dice, so there is going to be a combat. Yeah, that was a bit unlucky, really, wasn't it? Another high card 15 there. Okay, so no OB. Von Bock, I think, is of no use to us. Yeah, he's attacking into any, so that's not any good. So we've got a reduction in 3 dice. So we're going to put a leading general. There's not enough of what left. We've got 6s and 4s. And we are defending in river. Well, this is really important. So Rommel's not any good. Right, okay. Defending a river, but that's against the Western faction. Roll 1 grey dice instead of 1 white dice. That would have been pretty good. Yeah, this guy here. But it's only against the Western faction, so that's not any good to us. That's defending in plains, that's not any good. That's defending in any, and that is defending in any. So these are our 2 options. Right, we've seen them before. So add +1 hit to active combat roll for every black tank and grey tank result. Well, we've only got the chance of getting 1 of them because it's all white, 3 white dice and a grey dice. And hold on, we've got to take a reduction here first. We're not going to be able to cancel that. So one of these whites are going away because we can't reduce the grey to a white because there's no white in the pool. Here's the other one. Cancel 1 blue tank or red tank, like Soviet, Western or Soviet result in the Allied combat roll. Well, I'm saying we're not fighting in plains, but that might be better than that one. Just, I don't know. Where did they put the rest of the generals? Or where did I put them? Right. Oh, knocked them on the floor. Right. There was this Rommel, Ham, and Ham. Yeah. So there was only 5 left. Well, our other combats are going to be defending and rough. So they're not quite so bad. I'm not really going to have anybody great to be able to use. So yeah, one of these is going to be used for that. Well, hang on. Have we got better grade dice? No, there's grade. There's only one grade dice in both of these results as well, isn't there? So they're rolling 3 dice. I think I'm going to go for this guy. I think he's slightly better because I've got to roll a grey tank for the other one to matter. This one, they're rolling 3 dice, so there's a reasonable chance I might get a tank, and then we can cancel it. So I'm going to go with him. What is it? Eberhard von Mackensen. There we go. Right, and he can go back. He's probably going to be used in the next combat. But I'm kind of hoping one of these two are going to be a no combat, but well, we shall see. Right, and then the bad thing here is, remember, air naval control in the Eastern Front is at 1, so any air results are hits as well, sadly. And that's it. So we're needing to roll 3 dice now, aren't we? There was no... Oh no, stop. We do have a special effect, unfortunately. Let's apply 1 reduction. And like I say, there's no reduced armies here, so we can't reduce this. So the reduction has to be the removal of that army. So this isn't great. So we're now down to 3 dice. Okay, so they roll first though. There's no pluses or minuses. Remember the Western, the Soviet faction don't benefit from that. It's just a Western dice that you would get for that. So it needs to be the Western faction. We do have Abwehr still, yeah, as I noticed there, just as I was passing. Right, so 3 red dice. And we'd really like to see a tank result. Not often you'd be looking for that, but... so we can cancel it, basically. That's all we're getting. Yeah, so here we go. Give me a tank. Well, we didn't get 3 hits, so we have got an event. So, it could have been worse. Could have been slightly better, but... Right, so we got 2 hits and a combat event. But we need to roll our dice first. And we're rolling 3, a grey and 2 white. So... Well, we need 3 hits, don't we? Ideally, that's what we're looking for. Let's see, we do have Abwehr. And we are coming to the end of... Well, we're moving into the fall. But, yeah, well, just roll the dice first, Grant, and then you can maybe make your decision then. Right, looking for 3 hits. The combat's in river, so... Oh yeah, remember we're in defence, you want the guns. Well, we didn't get the guns, but we did get a tank and 2 hits. So, well, basically 3 hits. Excellent. Okay, so we never got the tank for him, so again, that generals... I seem to find that when the generals aren't helping me, I seem to get a decent result with the dice. So, a bit of good fortune there. So, combat event first. Now, I want to say these have been shuffled, topped up again. Oh, I tell you what, us having a victory here might be beneficial, because there's one of these, in fact, it could be both of these affect things if we lose the combat. So we're winning this combat. So here we go. Let's see what it is again. So we counter-attack. Ooh, maybe it's not that one then. Randomly choose one. Hang on. If the USSR is not at war, it is. If the Axis is the attacker, no, we're not this time. That's what happened the last time, wasn't it? Right, so this is going to happen. Randomly choose one area in the Eastern Front with a disputed alignment marker controlled by the Axis and adjacent to an area controlled by the Soviet faction. Apply 1 retreat in that... Oh, no. No. I don't want this. Oh, this could spoil Barbarossa, couldn't it? Apply 1 retreat in that area and flip all heads of army group in that area to their crescent side. Unrest +1, then it goes to the new year. Oh, that's horrible. That's rotten. Right, I'll take that event away. Well, we need to get lucky here, because the randomization here is going to be between Baltic States. So it's only going to be the 4 areas where we're not in Moscow anymore. That would have been 1. So it's going to be between Baltic States, Belarus, and these are the 2 that if we retreat and then Barbarossa's done. At least 2 areas in the USSR are occupied, yeah. Because that then means they're disputed. That's really cruel. So Baltic States, Belarus, we need to get lucky and hope that it's either Hungary or Romania, Bulgaria. And it does say 1 retreat. It's not that you can choose to... So it needs to be an area with a disputed alignment marker, well we've none of them. Or controlled by the Axis and adjacent to an area controlled by the Soviet faction. Yeah. Probably 1 retreat in that area and flip all heads of army group to the... Okay. So we've got a die roll then. And we're just going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't be anywhere else, can it? No. Poland's out because we moved into Belarus. Yeah, that's right. No. Yeah, I mean it would have been, we had 5 combats by the Soviets this turn, so it would have been all 5 of these, but because we retreated out of Moscow, that 5th one becomes null and void, and we remove the marker from that. So okay, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and we reroll a 5 or a 6. And we really don't want a 1 or a 2. Please. We want a 3 or a 4. That's a 6. Need to reroll. No! After all that faffing about. I should have realised that card was coming, but the thing is, nothing I could do about it. I mean, you could sort of say that was maybe one reason to have maybe stayed in Moscow, but because it would have gave an extra an extra chance of that turning up, which I wouldn't mind they'd retreating out of there, obviously. But so Barbarossa's failed after all that. Just mean it was. That's the only thing that could stop it, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure the attack was fine. We won the combat. And these 2 don't matter. Right, so we've got to apply 1 retreat in that area. So we've got to retreat from Narva into Riga, which is plains as well. Which then moves a Soviet control disk into Narva, and then also turning that into disputed. Cruel, very cruel. There's nothing I can do about it. Right, okay. Well, I mean, it was increasing our fanaticism by 1 and putting our air naval control in the Eastern Front up by 1. I say that's all it was doing, but you can only do this in the summer as well. Oh, no, man. So we can't do this again until the next summer. Okay. And right, hang on. So, and then flip all heads of army group in that area to the question side. So von Rundstedt becomes questioned as well. And I'm going to get his card. Yeah, I'm going to sort of run out of space now with these. So I'm just going to put him up in that top row. He's sort of piled on top there. But all these guys are getting questioned. But these don't have the markers on them because they're out on there on the board. And that would just confuse me if I take them off the board. So I'm sure I'll be able to work that out. So he's questioned, and then it's unrest +1 as well. That's a horrible card, isn't it? And coming at the time it came, even worse. So unrest +1, and then this card goes to the new year as well. So you're going to see it every year. Nasty. Right, anyway, let's get on that. So back to the combat in Belarus. We've got 3 hits to their 2, so we succeed. No harm done. Yeah. Yeah, so we would have succeeded Barbarossa if it hadn't been for that counter-attack. Oh well. Okay. Right, so moving on to the other 2. So we've got Hungary and then Romania, Bulgaria. Doesn't matter. Well, we got Von Kukler and Von Manstein. We're both defending in rough though. Von Manstein is defending in any, so he's good. Oh yeah, he's really good. And Von Kukler is defending in rough. Okay, so these are good generals. So yeah. Well, I'll just do Hungary first then. Get matters. Right, so Hungary first. We're going to draw a combat card. (1942) Soviet factions on the attack. See, now if this is just, even if this is what we got for Belarus, there's no combat event getting drawn. Card number 9. So it's going to be a reduction, but it would only happen in the winter. And then that's that done. Yeah, that's what you wanted right there. Or either one of the 2, but that one, and then we're not drawing a combat event that causes the counter-attack. Right, moving on. Romania, Bulgaria. Again, let's draw a combat card. Soviet faction 1942 attack. Yeah, we've got a reduction and 3 dice again. And I've just realised I've not put these other cards away yet, so hang on. Combat card away. Von Bock goes back in command. This guy goes activated. Right, so this is a combat card we've got. Reduction in 3 dice. Now tell me Von Manstein. Oh, he wasn't. It's Von Kukler that was cancelling the reduction. So they went the wrong way about, haven't they? Damn it. Yeah, Von Kukler cancelled the reduction. Look, I mean, don't get me wrong, Von Manstein's is good. The controlling player may change the result of any one die in the axis or allied combat roll for the result of his choice, and I will be rolling all the dice before doing that, because I agree that seems the fairer way to do that. Okay, so special effect, we've got to take a reduction, and there is a reduced army, so we have to reduce this because there's a reduced army. Hey, hold on, Grant, we've not picked a leading general, so give me that back. I want to say there was one guy left that was going to do something, wasn't there? It was nothing to do with reductions though. So we're defending in rough. Oh yeah, so I forgot about that. That's good as well. Defending in rough. Yeah, so there's only this guy we can use. But we're losing our grey dice anyway. Oh, he's only against Western. Oh, well, just as well. I noticed that now, because that would have been a screw-up. So that guy we used, hopefully he was alright then. Yeah, he was either. Yeah, I didn't realise he was just Western as well. So, in fact, all the guys I got left can't help. Defending against Western. So, I'm going to put... I think I'm maybe going to use Rommel, because we do have the fall to come, and I'm only going to have 3 generals left. I'm still going to have combats in Egypt, Spain, No, can Rommel not be used? Rommel can be used in Egypt, Grant. So you don't want to use Rommel. Defending a river, Western faction. I think I'm going to use this guy because I don't think he's going to be of any use. Yeah, in Spain we're defending in rough. Yeah, so I'm going to use him, which does nothing. Right, he's our leading general. So now we do take the reduction. So 3 white dice, but remember we get an extra white dice because we're defending in rough, and we've got von Manstein. So they're rolling 3 dice. We do still have a Boer. There's that nasty one. Okay, so 3 red dice. Remember we can no, it's not. Is it re-roll? No, he changed the result to the result of his choice. Yeah, he's really good. I mean, yeah, he's the only one that can be OB Ost, but right. So 3 dice. Here we go. No, well, we've done the special effect, which was the reduction. Attacking and attacking and rough, yeah. So it's 2 hits on an event. So I'm going to bring them out because, like I said, I do believe it is fair to re-roll all these dice before making the change. Now we should know what that. There's one combat event left. We should know what that is. I want to say it's Hitler takes control. As long as we don't lose the battle. Is that right? Yeah, I can't remember. It might not be that at all. I should be on top of that, to be honest, because there was only the 2 left and we cycled through them. Yeah, I should have known that was going to be the counter-attack. Right, so we're getting 3 white dice, but an extra white dice because Bucharest rough. So 4 white dice. We need 3 hits. Oh, yuck. Right, well, that's fine. We're probably going to change one of my results. There's only 1 combat event left. Yeah, and we just draw it twice. Does that... I mean, I can just change something in guns, can't I? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure it matters. I'm going to change I'm going to change this into that with von Manstein. Controlling player may change the result of anyone dying in the Axis or Allied combat roll for the result of his choice. You know, we needed 3 hits, but just in case that card does something, because we're still going to draw that event. So that's the result we've got. Let's see, we changed our event into guns. We had the blank as well, so we can get rid of that. So we got 4 hits to 2, so we're winning the combat. However, we're going to get this combat event. Right, well, let's see what it actually is then. Is it the Hitler takes control? It is. I think it only triggers if we lose. So, USSR is not in war. If there is only 1 German army in the combat, or the combat's result is victory, it is. This goes down the bottom again. So, the thing is, we've got a whole lot of combats in the fall. So we've got to be prepared for if we don't have a victory, so it could be an attrition or a defeat, then what's going to happen is we're going to dismiss the activated head of the army group in the area, and then the only player draws 1 Black Orchestra card and then unrest +1. So it's a straight up dismiss to just the head of the army group. Yeah. So we might want to think about that. He says, like, not knowing what he really means. I suppose when it comes down to combats, we've got to decide which one to resolve first. Knowing that this is the only combat event might be relevant. Yeah, you still need to roll a dice with a combat event on it, though, don't you? So yeah, okay. Right. Well, it was going to be a victory for us, so we ignore it. It goes down the bottom of the deck. There's only one. There's only one combat event card left, so it just goes down the bottom. That's the event resolved. We've got 4 hits to their 2. It's a victory for us. That goes away. So the offensive is done. I can put the combat card away. Von Manstein goes back in command, and then this guy just goes away, but he wasn't doing anything anyway. Right, that's it. That's Soviet offensive. Bit of a shame. We're now moving on to military directives objective check, which is a bit sore. So our objective was to at least 2 areas in the USSR are occupied. I just want, it's USSR is marked with I just wonder there for a moment if, we needed to take. I maybe didn't read that properly. That's what it says. We need to occupy 2 of the areas in the Soviet Union, which was the same as what I was saying. We needed to take these 2 areas because we didn't, at the start of it, we didn't control any areas. We didn't occupy any of the areas in the Soviet Union. So unfortunately, we do occupy Belarus. We do not occupy the Baltic states. Now this does have the wee recycle symbol up the top. So let us just go and double check all that. In a second. All right. Okay. This is bad. There's a bad result to this as well. If all objectives were not achieved, and this is the last operations phase in the turn, which it is, all AG heads in the areas listed in the current military directive card. What? All EG heads in areas listed in a current military directive card are flipped to their question side. Discard the current military directive card unless it is recyclable. Oh my, that's bad. So it's areas 1 to 11. So, well, he's already questioned. That's it, I think. That's even worse. Let me just see that in the rulebook. I'm just reading that off the cards thing, but military directive subjective check. Right, here we are, yeah. If not objectives been achieved, yeah. Discard military directive card, it's not recyclable. If it is recyclable, the card remains available for the rest of the year. Oh, I'm thinking, yes, we get the chance to do that in the fall. No, you don't, Grant. Barbarossa's happening in the summer. So basically, this card goes back in my hand, right? But I can't play it in the fall anyway. So it's pointless, really. And right, hang on, let me get these generals out, the cards out. There's going to be a lot of die rolling for questioning going on. So we've got Von Bock questioned. Mind you, I don't mind. I'm wanting rid of him anyway. He's just annoying. Von Kukla, because it did say it was in the area, didn't it? Let me see. If all EG heads in the areas listed in the military directive card after the black or blue symbols, and the AG heads that have participated in a combat generated by the card. What? Right, hang on, I'm confused by that bit. So areas 1 to 11 are questioned. What's the second bit mean? All AG heads in the areas listed in the multi-redirected card and the AG heads that have participated in a combat generated by the card. I don't get that. Generated by what card? Barbarossa 1. Right. I don't think it matters here, but Carlos, please chime in and maybe, although doesn't have to be Carlos, Martin might understand that quite clearly, and a lot of the rest of you. Sorry, I shouldn't just say, it might just be me. I guess I'm just not being able to grasp what that means. And the AG heads that have participated in a combat generated by the card. I don't know, it's something simple missing, just slipping me by there, eh? Because could it be that that we've moved into another area? I don't know. I'm not sure how to take that one. Okay, I think I'm questioning all the guys. Please, let me know what that means, or give me an example of how that can affect things. Von Kukler, he's in area 2. He is questioned. So we've got Von Bock as well, haven't we? So Von Bock, Von Kukler, I'm bringing these cards out. We've also got Von Manstein, who's in area 4. Yeah, hold on. Combat pawns in areas 1 to 11. Am I doing this right? It feels sort of... Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we did have a combat here. We did have a combat here on the offense, and but these two here were on the defense. That's not differentiating there, though. Oh, and the AG heads that have participated in a combat generated by the card. Nah, I still don't get that. Okay. Well, it does say it's areas 1 to 11 on the card. So these are in areas 1 to 11. That's 5. Well, he was already questioned. 6. Or was it him? No, yeah, Von Bock. 6, 2, and 4. The other, this doesn't have 1, which is 1 to 11. And the rest are all, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's 12. And that's 13. So these... Yeah, okay, that's that. So these 3 cards are going in the question box as well. I'm just going to chuck them on a pile. There's loads of them now. We've only got 2 generals out there that are not being AG general. No, these are... Well, one of these is an OB. And he rolled a 6, didn't he? He's a dissident OB as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was bad. That was all bad. Yeah, this is a this is a cruel game, isn't it? I like that. Yeah, solo games in particular, you want to be up against it, don't you? You don't want to just cruise through it, breeze through it. I think any solo game I've played, if I have managed to comfortably win the first time, I've probably never played again. So, comfortably win. I dare say there's still a chance of me winning this game. It doesn't really feel like it because of the way of some of my strategies, and Been not the best, maybe. Right, let's 45. Yeah. Okay, so military directive check. Right, end. Right, we're moving to supply. Do we have supply issues? Don't think we do we? No, Egypt's. Yeah, Egypt we can trace into Middle East, yeah, and then back. So yeah, there's not the issue was in Libya before, and the same as Spain. Spain can be traced into southern France, which is fine, and none of the Soviet issues become an issue either. No, right, okay. So all good there. Victory check. We're good. We're fine. So that is now the end of the summer. So administrative phase of the fall. That's where we're going to be starting. And back in the bombing in Germany step. Right, I suppose it's 46 minutes. I've probably got a little bit more time, but I think it's probably best to cut this as a part just now. And maybe I can sneak straight back and get the next bit started, maybe. I'll see, but I will just cut this there. Yeah. Okay, I'll hopefully be back soon. Cheers.